Hey everybody, Texas Stroker here, Lance's Performer Shop, Lone Star Mopars.com. It is Friday night, it is about 8:30, sadly getting dark a lot earlier. But just got in and I've got tons of videos lined up, ready to go. I had something that would have been released tomorrow, but a while back I picked up the Wera Advent Calendar. That's right, we'll go ahead and try to fit this thing on the table and see how it goes. So it is a lot bigger than I thought it would be. You're not seeing quite the full box, but up towards the top you kind of can. And you're not missing too much down at the bottom. So I'll get you a full look at this thing, but I do want to say these are available right now. I picked mine up from KC Tool. I will have the link in the description box. I make nothing off of that. It is there for solely your benefit should you want to order one. Now, why would you buy this? It's Labor Day. It's not even, we're still a weekend away from Labor Day. What's the deal? It seems a little early. Well, these are actually super popular and they sell out. A couple years back, there was one I was interested in. It sold out. I didn't get the one last year. Just for whatever reason, it didn't really appeal to me. It kind of depends what's inside, right? But true story, as a kid, I never had an advent calendar. I didn't know anything about these. What we had was calendars where you scratch a day off type of a thing, flip it over and it doubles as a countdown to Christmas. There was never anything with gifts and stuff in it. So this is kind of cool. In my opinion, I guess, if you're accustomed to having these all the time, it might not be that neat of a deal. But for me, kind of a cool deal. Plus, the artwork is neat. And more importantly, and what matters the most to me, is what's on the inside. And luckily, the back of the box will tell us that, so we won't have to do too much. But it says to remove the calendar from the transport cardboard box. That's important because if you wrap this up, as cool as this looks, if you wrap it up and your intention is to give it to someone to have them open up one day at a time, it's going to totally spoil the surprise. Now, if your intention is to have someone open this up either for a birthday or just a random present or a Christmas gift type of thing, a coworker deal, it's not really going to matter, and that would probably be preferred. So we will attempt to kind of freewheel this a little bit. I want to say their MSRP is $87. I think right now they're $73.50. Now keep in mind, if this were to sell out, or not sell out, I guess we could say, these do often get reduced. The issue you're going to run with there is if that's your plan, is you're like, well, I'm going to see if I can steal this thing, for 50% off after Christmas type of a thing. Keep in mind that may not happen. So factor in how cool you think it is, if you need the products that are inside, if you just really, really want them and what you're willing to spend, and use that to make your decision. Again, I have seen these go. Sometimes they stay available, and you can pick them up dirt cheap later on, but you just simply never know which way it's going to go. So with that said, you'll see some little Easter eggs in there. That's one of the things Wera's known for, but you'll see not only just wrapped presents, right, kind of colorful, you got the black and white cap, but if you pay close attention, you'll see that there's quite a few Wera gifts sprinkled in. Of course, Santa, he looks to be guarding some of the jokers tightly against his chest. And if you're from America, or anywhere really, and you're not into hot air balloons, you don't follow Wera on social media, that's actually a real balloon. They literally have the back end of a screwdriver handle done up as a hot air balloon. I guess it's super popular in Germany, maybe other parts of the world. I once dated a girl whose dad was into hot air balloons. There's this whole subculture of people that you didn't really know existed. But anyway, it's pretty dadgum cool. So they literally do have a hot air balloon like that. So I thought you might find that interesting. Now let's get some rough dimensions on this, because some of you might be planning to pick this up and wrap it, right? And you're going to need to know. So sadly, as of me filming this, I don't know if KC Tool offering a gift wrap service, but might be something they would consider. Who knows? Maybe if you offer to pay, they'd hook you up. I don't know. You can't see it, but trust me, 22.5 is going to be that dimension. And then deep, it's right about 18 inches. So 18 by 22.5. And then the depth, let's see here, we're going to call that just about 2 inches. So 23, 19, 2.5, something like that. However you would figure your wrapping paper needs, whatever that might be. Now the cool thing is, if you are getting this for a gift for someone, this is one of those things you don't technically have to wrap. right? Because it looks good in the box. So, you know, keep that in mind. Might save you a few bucks on tape and materials. But anyhow, let's take this, I guess, side by side here. So open here and remove the calendar from the transport cardboard box. Sounds simple enough, right? Same thing, I guess you can open it on the top side either. Both other sides are blank. Real quick though, I don't know the full history on these. I know first time I'd ever seen one, it was on, I think, German Tour Reviews, but going way back in time to 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. I think 17-ish is when I like first learned of them type of a deal. But right here you've got what's included. So I assume that there's like little doors in the calendar. I don't really know. Like I said, I've never had one. But the huge selling point to me, number one, this seemed functional. I was interested in what tools were included. There's some stuff I don't have that I would have wanted to buy eventually. But there's also something that's amazing, and it's just the design, the color scheme, the aesthetics, right? If you know me, you know I like black and blue pretty well, right? You know, not that the mat or anything would have something to do with that, but that is right. They have deviated from the typical, which luckily I've got their fairly new Stubby here. You know, matches the hot air balloon, right? Black and green, you know, nothing wrong, good color scheme. But if you could customize them, that's probably what I would do. Black and blue. So you're going to get the Stubby magazine holder screwdriver. You're going to get the bottle opener. You're going to get a hook and loop. The stuff seems gimmicky. They're like textile and Velcro pouches. It's actually pretty strong. If you ever use it, it holds up pretty well. Again, I've had the stuff for as long as I've had it, and I haven't had issues with it. So it's good quality Velcro. More importantly, some people are happy with the textile bags. German Tool Reviews, if you get bored, he's got a video where he lets his dog, like, you know, tear into one with him. And it held up, so that was good news. But coming in, it looks like we've got a slotted bit here at the top, rocking the clean Alpha gloves for your viewing pleasure. My thumbnail is pretty well back, so we might ditch the gloves eventually, who knows. Don't want to deviate too much on that. It looks like we've got Phillips #1 and #2. We've got a Pozi. We've got T20 and T25. We do get an extension, 56mm right there. That's pretty cool. The other big selling point on this, like if you could care less about, you know, the advent calendar or, you know, open up every day, whatever, you're concerned about the tools, right? So essentially all that we've covered that matters is the bits and the Stubby bit holder, right? And that might be enough to sell you on this, who knows. But up here, this would be a significant chunk of the price as well. We've got a Cyclops mini ratchet. So that's going to be pretty cool. It is quarter drive, and that's important to note. It's not going to be like a bit ratchet, it's quarter drive. Their handles, I've had pretty happy with them. You know, they're not the most comfortable and definitely not the least comfortable, but when you get that small, you know, we'll see what we think of it. But after that, we've got metric hex bits. We've got 4, 5, and 6. That is the bit in the socket. And then coming down, we've got T20, T25, and T30 for Torx representation. And then coming down past that, and this is another key selling point to me. I have Wera sockets. These, as best I know, this style is still made in Germany. And what I have, of course, is the SAE version. They just put them on like Harbor Freight rail clips like you used to get at Sears back in the day, which I actually still use. Go me, right? The cheapest rail you can get, but purely functional. And I do not have the metrics in quarter drive, so that's kind of cool. It looks like we've got a 5.5, a 6, a 7, an 8, a 10, a 12, and a 13. So that's typically as big as I go with quarter, unless it's like a size restraint type of an issue. But that is what is included. And of course, we probably didn't do the bag enough credit, right? Because it will all plug and play, and I'm sure it's super secure and functional and real neat. But without further ado, we're going to open this thing. I don't know if I should do it day by day or just dump the contents out and show you. I did poll people, and everyone wanted to see this, you know, like lickety split. There were a couple of you that said hold off. And truth be told, I have videos ready to go. I need to be sanding some stuff really bad. I spent like 15 minutes clearing electronics and stuff off of the truck, off of the workbench. Would have been way easier for me, and then I still have to go in and edit. But I decided, you know, it's Labor Day. These are available. If people really want them and they sell out, I'd feel bad, you know, like if I released the video like Black Friday time, and you're like, oh, that's amazing, I'm gonna get one, and you know, get 4 more to give to my buddies, or you know, for some reason, you know, some cool lady's watching this, gonna get it for her husband or son or something, type of a deal. It would be really, really sad to see something that you really want to give someone and then you can't get it because it's sold out. So that's my logic. Personally, you know, still summertime to me. Meteorological fall, sure, but it's 95 degrees right now. So nonetheless, I'm excited to see this. I want to check out the Ratchet as well. So we'll open it up and we'll just wing it from there. All right, so I got to say, this is pretty cool. If you're thinking, hey, you didn't do anything, moron, you know, it's the same thing we were looking at. It is, but not quite. This is actually the calendar. If you pay real close attention, you'll kind of see like a number 9, number 23 on Santa's knee, number 24 here. So this is what you would get, what you could set out for someone. It does not spoil what's inside. If someone was like oblivious to this existing and you thought, oh my gosh, this person's going to love that, or they'll find that super useful, this is another way you could give it to them. You could still wrap this as well, but if I flip it over for you, we've got something pretty neat. You're thinking, oh, they blew it again, you know, look at all that, you know, kit contents on the back. No, that's just the history of the advent calendars, again, back to 2010. If they did it prior to that, I don't have knowledge of it. But you've got the Wera Tool Rebels logo here, you've got their social media. It looks like this would be some sort of a kick out, so you could like lean this back and have it stand, essentially. There's also pegs up there. Probably intended for a retailer, but you could conceivably, you know, work with them as well. Maybe strap them up to the tree somehow, who knows. But right here, again, that would be your stand to kind of let this thing happen. And it seems like it would be painfully slow. And I know I'm not known for, you know, my succinct and short and to the point videos or anything, but it would seem painfully slow if we were going to do this piece by piece. But at the same time, it's kind of exciting, at least to me. For you as well, if you're A, not going to buy it, or B, you're just super interested in it. And the thing that's holding me up right now is I can't find the number 1. I'm seeing all kinds of other numbers. There it is, right above Santa. So let's just wing it. Again, I will stress right now, pretty much every video I release, I put timestamps on, okay? And the timestamps are there for your viewing convenience. If you're at this point in the video and you're like, screw it, I just want to see these pieces out, buddy, scroll down to the description. There will be timestamps. I don't care if you use them. That's why I put them there. For everyone else, we're about to go on a really dorky adventure here, and I personally could not be more excited about it. So I like this. You don't know what you're going to get, but you know that it's something cool. You can kind of deduce. You know, we got some mild spoilers here. You're going to know that, you know, if the person you're giving this to is at all into tools, they're going to recognize that that's got to be socket rails, right? Right here, they don't know what's happening. I don't even know what's happening. And here's instructions for the socket rails. You just twist and clip. But again, this is sort of Wera's textile stuff. And again, first complaint I will make, although that's their true color scheme, would have been cool to see that in blue just because that's included. I'm not being a jerk saying that, you know, that's just my personal thoughts, because the kit, the main components are blue. You get the Velcro piece, you get the instructions or whatever that would be. You don't even care. That's what's on the inside though. It looks like a plastic tray is there. So we'll see if that's across the board. So we found one. Number 2 will be around the belt buckle. Oh, this is pretty cool. I'm gonna tilt the camera. And, I always wondered, I figured this crud was just like loose and would roll around. There's actually some money spent to do that, you know, like to have a molded plastic tray that would hold your bit. But it looks like we got a number 1 Phillips. I'll bring all of this back together, don't you worry. But for now, we're gonna go to town in this manner. So let's see here. It would be quicker also if these were kind of like numerically ordered, but I guess it's, you know, kind of fun, especially like if this was a younger person. Now in 3, we don't have the number 2 Phillips like you might have thought. We got the 5.5. So 4, I've seen that guy up here. Feel free to play along and, you know, cuss at me as I can't find 5 or something. But right here we got our Hex Bits. That is 4. I want to check these out. I was curious how they did them. If you'll recall, long ago I bought some of these from VHA and you could like swap the bit. I don't know. There's no retainer or pin or anything like that I can see, but if we look at the bottom of the socket, I wonder if you could drive that out with some sort of like, you know, this case a screwdriver, and replace it that way. If you could replace the bit, you could change the bit to something else, like say you don't use a 4 but you needed a whatever size, you know, it's commonplace for you. Adds a little bit more versatility. Coming in now, I see 6, I see 5 right here. So the Christmas tree off to the side, you can kind of see it. Let's go ahead and bust that open. We have the number 5 hex, so pretty cool. I could try to keep these in order. That would save me some time, wouldn't it? So I think I've got them in order. But let's come in here. 6 is down by the cat's foots, if you will, or the bottom of the balloon basket. It might be big. Oh, we're getting serious now. All right, I thought we'd have to wait for this one. Check this out. All right, so this is really one of the money shots for me and probably for many of you. Again, nice molded plastic trays in there. Check it out though. It's the number 2 Stubby. There's the cap. There's the bit holder. It looks like it's a carousel style, so we've got 2. It'll hold 6 bits, I do believe, so that's nice. It's nothing crazy, it's not like 12 pieces. There it is shut. Now to open it, what do we do? Not 100% sure. Doesn't seem, I think you just extract it, you just pull on it by hand. So the only downside to this is I think if you were to use this heavily, like an everyday carry type of a thing, I'm wanting to say you would probably break this or pull it out, but it might be designed to do that. You can kind of see it's sort of like a ball and socket type of a joint, right? And I guess if you ever had a hard time getting it out and you just rip it and it popped out, I would assume you could put it back in place. Now, don't hold me to that, but it's, you know, it's not like some trick deal where I was sitting here squeezing, you know, trying to make it pop. If it does, I don't seem to be able to articulate it, but I'm thinking you just manually do it like that. So not probably the most robust, but again, you know, it's pretty cool, and I've got to say, let's just get straight to the point here. Does that not look awesome? I think it does. That thing looks really, really good. For comparison's sake here, there is their standard green. The blue pops. I mean, black and blue, it's really hard to beat that color scheme. You know, they're chisel drivers right here, which I use the snot out of these things. Particularly the one that doesn't have a cap, and then the large one, but that's sort of the yellow and black. The blue and the black, that's something I think they're onto something there. They'd like to keep that color scheme rolling. So that was number 6. Number 7 is over here. You can't see it. It's under Santa's back foot. Oh, and it's an extension. Now, if you're scoring at home, you'll think, hey, we haven't seen anything that would tie in with that yet, and that would be 100% correct. So now people are super intrigued by this point in time, right? So number 8, where are you at? Right down here. Follow my finger. Again, it's just super hard to get this whole thing in the camera frame. We're back to the Hex Bits. This one has a red ring around it. It would be the number 6. I want to say that's the largest one that we got. Don't hold me to it. All right, number 9. This is one of the reasons I thought we might do this off camera, but again, it's all part of the fun, I suppose. There it is. I have my finger on it. It's literally why I couldn't find it. So kind of the red, white, and blue package down this way. That is our number 2 Phillips. Doesn't look to be a laser tip, sadly, but it is labeled. It's got the ring around it. Easy to spot, easy to see. Number 10, day 10, December 10th, August 31st, whatever. All right. Oh, man. There it is right down here. It's going to be on the Wera package just below the teddy bear. Open that up. We got a Torx Bit, and it's going to be the T20. Very cool. Set that down. 11. Let's see if we can find that. Probably find everything but 11. I see 13 over there. All right, way, way at the top, of course, you know. That's probably why I couldn't find her. Number 11, we got ourselves a quarter drive socket. This has a yellow ring around it. That is a 7mm. So, coming in now, we need 12. Let's see if we can find it. Might be more efficient to just, you know, go from the top down or something, but, you know, we're going to do it. All right, 12 over here, hidden quite nicely. Snowy River near the church, right? So if you had to pick somewhere to hide, this would be it. There's a number 2 Pozi. 13, we've got right over here along the river banks as well, sort of the snowman's area. We will, pushed it the wrong way. Oh, got it out. All right. So, right there. Got the 10 millimeter. That would be a chore to find and get out, right? So, 10 is out of the way. Now we need to come up and find 14. It's going to be a pretty long one over here. Got a good feeling about 14. Let's set it up for you underneath the candles on the tree, sort of to Santa's back of his knee. If we're going to dead leg Santa and take off with a sweet hot air balloon, this is where we would be. And this is exactly what I thought it would be. It is the quarter drive Ratchet, and this thing is small. So, fits in the palm of my hand. The Cobras, sadly, are not here. They're in the truck, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. But this is definitely a palm-sized tool. So, if this was given to a child, you know, like your small children, I think this would be decent. Don't know the specs on it. It doesn't feel that bad. I'm thinking maybe 72 teeth. Don't hold me to that. But, part number looks to be 8008A. We do have a switch, and it does have a detent mechanism, so very positive like most of Wera's stuff. But a tiny, tiny little guy. Only thing I might have done differently on this is if we had sort of the comfort handle with the black and the blue to tie in with the color scheme. But truth be told, that's very small. Something that I don't think is included here that would be super nice if it was trying to multitask and entertain you while I look for number 15, which is the teddy bear's face. But if they did not include a quarter drive to bit holder adapter, I think that would be super handy, something you could pick up at the same time and kind of throw in for the person. Right there, we have got a T20 Bit. Very nice. Number 16 up here, sort of right above the setting sun. Or is it the sun rising? Who knows? Santa, he's a mysterious man. That's 16, we've got the T25. This will be heavily used, I would imagine. Quarter drive, that's... seems like T30 is kind of pushing it, but, you know, we'll see. 16, 17 is going to be up over here, backside of Santa's toy sack, sort of towards the top of the tree. And... oh, it's a flap that goes up. So we're gonna have to come in here. This is one of those things, you know, with your thumb still not 100%. You have trouble with some simple things, right? So right there we've got our slotted blade. It's a 1.0 right there. 17, 18. Trying to, seems like I've seen that sitting around. I see 19 there. 18 is gonna be up in the top corner, just below the Wera logo. If you pay close attention to where these actually have the flaps, it'll help you out. I'm just, you know, trying to get this done quick, even if it doesn't seem like it. 8 millimeter socket, very nice. Number 19, we were just on it. This is the cat's paw, and again, the eye of the cat is where that's going to be. So we'll open that up, and we've got ourselves a T25. Amazing. Let's shut that. Gotta find 20. Don't know that I have seen that one hiding anywhere. It's off over here in the bottom corner. You can't even see it. Just look for the snowman and go a little bit towards the corner. This is big. This is the 12 millimeter. So there we go. We're home free on that front. 21 up here, going to be just past the sun. We got ourselves another Torx. This one's got an orange ring around it. This is the T30. That is pretty big for quarter drive. I assume it can take it. So I don't really get to deal much with T30. T25, yes. T27, yes. T50, yes. Everything in between there, not really with what I do, typically. But it's nice to have it nonetheless. So 22, let's see. I see 23, I see 24. But I'm not seeing 22. Must be hidden very well or in plain sight. There it is. It is towards the steeple of the church, right there above the door. Again, if this was for a kid, I mean, I gotta say, I'm trying to get this done quick, but it would be way more enjoyable if you just leisurely, you know, go over the entire picture and find it. That is our 13 millimeter right there. It's got the nice Christmassy green to get you in the spirit. Then 23, Santa's knee underneath the Joker set, right? Those ever come in a advent calendar, that'll be a big seller. We've got a nice blue ring on this one. That is the 6 millimeter. And then 24, we come in, we're right here. This looks like a big one. You wouldn't know that until you like carefully start studying the perforations. So now you're getting serious. Now you get the bottle opener. And right here again, if you're into this sort of thing, this is really cool. Again, the color scheme is amazing. There's another little Easter egg on it. The finish out on this is actually pretty good, I've got to say. I'm not a man that collects bottle openers or anything, but it is a fairly impressive piece. So you got the Wera logo there. Flipping around, it's also on the other side. The color scheme, fantastic, perfect. Wouldn't change a thing. But check this out, you know, like over here with our Stubby, right? If you've got that in your bag or on a screwdriver stand like I use, you got the number 2, you kind of know what it is. Check this one out. Oh yeah. Rock on, right? So you got the little Tool Rebels kind of Easter egg there for you. So if you do put this in a stand of some sort, you know, and you're reaching for it, or you tell somebody to grab you your bottle opener, you can just tell them, get the one, you know, with the hand sign. So there we go. That is pretty cool. I think that's, I don't know. I'll just go ahead and say it. Personally, I would prefer to have something, I would use something more functional. Whether that be like a drive handle, the bit adapter, a padded ratchet, anything really, like another, you know, a fairly big item type of a thing, but not like anything crazy. I might say, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. If you're buying this, would you rather have the bottle opener included with the advent calendar or another tool? Keep in mind, it's not going to like they're going to throw in a Colos or something, you know. Keep the price range in mind. I might go that route personally, but again, you know, I'm not somebody super into this stuff. I don't use them, so it's just kind of there. It's something cool, you know, to look at and say you've got, or if you ever do need one, thing, it's available to you. But I don't know. It might be. I was thinking I would be in the huge minority there, but as I think more about it, I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe I'm not. Maybe it's one of those deals where there would actually be people that agree with me there. So now, like I said, I've never had an advent calendar. I don't know if there's anything for the 25th or not. So currently I'm just scanning this rather frantically for the numbers 2 and 5, and I'm not seeing anything. So maybe it just goes through Christmas Eve type of a thing. Who knows, but I don't think there's anything in there. Sounds like it's just a tray. If we screwed up, we'll figure it out pretty quick, I suppose. So I gotta say, that's, for my first ever time with an advent calendar, it's kind of cool. I think it's neat anyway. It's coming in right here. I wonder how we should piece this together. What I may do to save us time at this point is just get everything out here on the table, kind of figure out how I want it to go, where I want it to be positioned, and then come back and show you the finished product. Alright, so before I assemble this thing, if you will, wanted to take a shot of everything just like this. We have everything laid out in front of you, all 24 pieces. You've got the bag, the carry case back there. We've got quarter drive sockets. We have 5.5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, and 13. There in the middle towards the back, we've got T20, 25, and 30 for Torx bits. Here to the side, you've got 4, 5, and 6 for your metrics hex bits. Then we've got the bottle opener, we've got the tiny quarter drive ratchet, we've got the magazine holding stubby, 4 bits, we've got the 1 and 2 Phillips, we've got a T20, T25, we've got a number 2 Pozi, and then we've got the slotted 5.5 there, and then of course there is the extension as well. So that's how the stuff pans out. I also will go ahead and showcase this to you just because it's kind of cool to me. I don't know. But if you're curious how they put this stuff together, okay, so you can see this is the plastic tray that's inside the box behind the calendar. Like that, for example, is our ratchet, and then right here you've got the extension. They've got their part numbers with it, right? They tell you which bit goes where. They've got the arrows indicating which way this thing should be dropped into the box. And just personally, again, having never had one of these, at any point in my life, let alone something recently or with tools, I just, you know, it's kind of cool to see how that goes in, sort of the behind the scenes stuff. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and assemble all this in the case, see what we think of it, and we will wrap the video up. Alright, so sorry again about the fan. If you can hear it, it's just really hot. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up and check it out. Everything has its place except for the bottle opener, because I assume if you're gonna use this, you've got a special place for it. But again, super cool design, super neat to see that included. Again, personally, I would have liked to have seen like another tool, you know, something I'd get more functionality out of. But I would assume for at least a good chunk of people, this is going to be super cool. possibly even the most used item, because I have to say it is actually quite comfortable, at least for what it is. But a pretty cool little novelty there. And then again, meat and potatoes, the bread and the butter. If you're just thinking, okay, you know, can I justify this for myself? Would I use this? Do I need it? Do I have it? Here's what we get. You get the textile case. This is how everything packs out in there. And again, I know what you're thinking. If you're not accustomed to Wera stuff, you're like, okay, that's a joke. That is just garbage. What's the catch? You know, like, that's all going to come out. It's not, I promise you. I've used the stuff a little bit. Typically everything I get goes into the toolbox, you know, or has a place set aside. I'm not necessarily using, you know, the cases, but I have messed around with them, and I'm doing no favors to this thing. I don't know when you would ever, in a situation, maybe if you're doing a job and you get chased by a bear, you know, type of a thing, it would be put through those same rigorous paces. But otherwise, what I just did is above and beyond what this will experience in your toolbox, in your tool bag, wherever it might be, glove box, back seat, whatever. It's going to stay put. That's the bottom line. So I also want to point out this is Velcroed on this backside, and if you recall, they did include this little nugget. What this allows you to do is kind of custom tailor it, rig it up. If you want this thing to be strapped to some section of your tool bag, that's how you make it happen. And then this would be on the outside or secured on the inside. Sky is the limit, whatever you want to do. But let's go ahead and open her up, and I want you to pay attention to how this thing works. So from the side, you see the profile. I've got the 5.5 here. On this flip side, I've got the extension. It took me a while to figure out. I was like, am I missing a socket? And then I realized, oh, they want me to put the extension there, right? So as we open the flap, for me personally, again, you can tweak this. If you wanted the sockets here, you can do that. If you want, you know, this opposite, if you want it to read right to left, I just went about it in a order that seemed appropriate to me. So here at the top, again, I go from ascending, you know, I read left to right. That's how I typically do things. So I've got the T20, 25, and 30. Personally, I will use those way more than I will use the 4, 5, and 6 because it's metric. If this was SAE stuff, maybe we'd switch them. Just for me, it's easier to come in. I would use my dominant hand to hold the case, and I would use this hand to take them off. So let's say that I need the T25. You're like, what's the deal? It's stuck. Well, here's what you do. It's a very, very simple system. You just come in, you twist it, just like that. It comes off. You're done with the job. Put it back on. It will fall off like that. You've got to twist it, listen closely for the positive lock, and it's done. It's secure. It's really that simple. I know you're looking at that and you're thinking plastic and some canvas textile crud, terrible. I promise you this stuff holds up. I know it's different than what a lot of us are accustomed to using or would go out and purchase, but I promise, give it a shot and I think you will be impressed. May not be your favorite thing ever, but I do think you'll have to say, hey, that actually works. And that's really all you can ask for. And plus, it makes this rather oddball kit fairly compact. So we'll seal it back up, take some measurements here in just a second. Battery light's flashing, so if we flip this down, this is what I did. Alright, so I've got the 5.5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, and then my extension. Coming in, I assume this is the only way to do this. That is our ratchet. Here we've got the stubby. If you're thinking, wait, where are the bits? Well, my friends, they are where it counts. They're where they should be. Now, I want you to listen as I pop this out. It's got a pretty tight seal, and then it'll come about there, and then you just have to extend it a little bit. Listen close. Once you're at that point, that's when you can come in, you can get your bit, decide what you want, shut it, and then come in and use this sucker. Now what's cool there is you know exactly what's in the driver. Now let's say that you lose the bits, you burn through them. Will it work with any bit or were those special? Here's just a bit of thanks from KC Tool. This is just a standard quarter drive bit holder. That's all it is. So you can put whatever you want to if you swear by Terminators, if you've got like an infinite supply of Philo bit of thanks from KC Tool. All that stuff will work. Similarly, any Wera bits, let's say that all you use is a number 2 Phillips or, you know, or a Pozi drive, or, you know, if you're in Canada and you want like Roberson stuff, whatever. If you want to populate this, you can put whatever quarter drive bit that you want to. It'll all interchange and work. I'm frantically trying to get that in there just because I never know when the battery will truly die. But it's a pretty cool little deal, I have to say. I love the color scheme. Hopefully that's something that they continue to do. Off the top of my head, I can't think of many times they've had like red. I know that would be another popular color for many of you. maybe with future advent calendars, that's something that they do. Maybe for Easter, we get, you know, like the spring green, or like a pastel blue or something along those lines, the, you know, typical Easter egg colors, right? Just something neat in that way, you know, like you've got something functional. If you're like a hardcore fan, or it's like, oh, that'd be a great gift for so-and-so, it just gives you more options, and it's something cool that you can actually get some significant use out of as well. So you're probably, you know, not going to save yourself a roadside repair with this kit, but it is something like if you had it in the house, in a drawer in the kitchen, a desk drawer, if you tinker a lot, this stuff could be huge. It might be all you need, particularly if you tweak this out. Again, let's say with me, 4, 5, and 6 metric hex stuff, you know, maybe. But if that was SAE based stuff all the time, I have the ability, this will take whatever I want to put on it. So any quarter drive socket I can stick, regardless of what the bit is, we can do that. You can customize this, tweak it, but this is what is included. The ratchet itself is very nice as well. We'll try to get some use on that. Maybe by the next real-time video I can update you on it. But just to showcase this real quick before the battery dies, if I do this, swing this up, get these bits, I guess you get the bits in first, then the sides, then come in and secure the flap. That's all there is to it. This is critically important because some of you will care, and I don't want the battery to die. Measurements on this sucker, about 5 1/4, all right? And then coming to the back side here, we're gonna call that just a shade over 4. And then the thickness on it, let's just go maximum with the top flap. And granted, you can compress this to about 2 inches, but just say like 2.5 if you had to denote anything. And again, you can actually position this a little bit better than I did and have that tucked in. But again, I'm just trying right now to not have the battery die. So, you know, to each their own, do with it what you will. It's kind of a cool little deal there. It's probably how it's supposed to be boxed in appropriately. But it is available now at KC Tool. I want to say again $73.50 or so, give or take a little bit. If you wait on it, yes, you could probably get it cheaper. Caveat being, will it be available at the lower price point? If it's something that you're just going to stock continuously, maybe you get lucky. Similarly, it may sell out before Christmas even happens, so keep that in mind. I can't really advise you. I haven't really monitored these super close throughout the years, but it is something that is super popular, and they do tend to sell out. So personally, I think it's pretty cool. Again, that's my first ever experience with an advent calendar. It's also a great color scheme. I love that they did something unique with it, and kind of, you know, quirky and non-conventional. But like I said, if you're like, oh, that's a terrible set, keep in mind, whatever you want to do, if you've got the bits, make it happen. It doesn't have to be Wera stuff. You can mix in your pre-existing ancient stuff, your pre-existing new stuff. It's just the portfolio for you to do with what you want, and that's what they included. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it. Again, I think this was the one that, you know, it kind of, not everything, you know, will get heavy use, but it was actually kind of functional in the fact that it was blue. I thought, man, that's going to be cool. I kind of want to have that for comparison's sake as well. Heaviest used items will no doubt be the Stubby bit holder and the quarter drive ratchet, because that thing is super, super ridiculously small. I'll see if we can maybe get to utilize that coming up. Again, something I think that would have been pretty dadgum handy with this is if they included an adapter to go from quarter drive to a bit, and then you could almost, that way you're not stuck with like a bit holding ratchet. You have a legit quarter drive ratchet, but you can also drive bits with it. So it's best of both worlds type of thing, right? But I would totally have given up the bottle opener for that, or something of similar nature. Again, I know there's a lot of you that'll hate that. A lot of you are like, oh yeah, me too. But again, if you're into bottle openers, Autobahn Dan, he's got quite the collection. He was a bottle opener Friday on Instagram. But like I said, for me, they're kind of cool, but I would prefer something like functional, you know, that I'll actually get use out of. Now, if you'll use the bottle opener, sweet, you know, you got it covered. But for me, that bit adapter, even though it would be less value, would have been like more important to me. But that said, I will quit rambling. Again, I didn't really know how to go about this. If I ever bring in another one, you know, who knows what Hazette or Stavilla might do, or Gador, who knows, maybe VHAL will crank something out for 20. It's been a strange year. You don't know what's going to happen. But if we do this again, let me know. Do you want me to go door by door, day by day, or do you just like, oh, just show us the crud in there and we'll have fun opening it ourselves? Let me know, because honestly, I just winged this as I do most things. And since it was my first time, you know, I'm fine with that. But moving forward, I'm totally fine if you're just like, hey, show me the box, get the stuff on the table, talk about it, ramble like you do. But please don't make us sit through opening and trying to hunt the numbers. Personally, I thought it was kind of fun, but hey, I would enjoy it on or off camera, so it makes no difference to me. But ultimately, the end goal here, I want you to know this exists. I want you to see what's in it. That way, if you want it, if you intend to pick it up to give to someone, you can get it now while it's available. Again, keep in mind they do have a history of selling out, so weigh that as you will proceeding. But with that said, we're what, September, October, November, still pretty good ways from Christmas. Halloween hasn't happened, but I guess it's never too early, especially when it's something cool. So hope everyone has a great Labor Day, and if I don't see you again before that point in time, I hope you have a great Christmas. I really do. It's probably going to be good if you go this route, something you're into. But with that said, new videos every Saturday. We typically alternate, you know, KC tool hauls with something else, regardless of what that may be. And on Wednesdays, midweek, we are currently knee-deep in the Ram revival. Finally got the motor out of the truck, at least in the video series. I've got a lot going on. There's just a ton. I mean, this shop is a mess. If I turn the camera around, you would see. But don't want to spoil anything. The dash is totally out of the truck. I'll let you figure that out. Kind of draw your own conclusions there. But again, that's coming out on Wednesdays. Saturdays are tool days. Wednesdays are, you know, miscellaneous automotive content. So if you haven't seen those for some reason and you're bored or you're looking for something to do, check them out. Maybe you'll enjoy them. Biggest thing for you, the tool side of the channel, is you actually will get to see the tools there. Like, I'm not somebody that buys a tool just to have it. I buy it because I'm like, oh, that would be good for this, and then I actually use it. And sometimes it works out beautifully. And you're like, oh, I remember when he brought that in and said he was going to use it for that. Well, that's cool, it worked out. So keep that in mind as somewhere, you know, that way I do tool hauls here. You know, they're not like reviews or test sessions or torture tests. It's a tool haul. I'm showing you what I brought in. I will also tell you why I brought it in. And then if you want to see that come to fruition, that's when I'm working on stuff. So I typically try to put that in the timestamps just in case any of you are like, well, I really wanted to see that giant Heiko wrench you brought do something. So there you go. But on that note, for all of you that hung around to the end, I will tell you this: have a great Labor Day weekend and Merry Christmas. Enjoy Halloween and Thanksgiving as well. So good luck at your fantasy drafts. This is a big deal because I said this was my first advent calendar, and it really is. But just a few weeks ago, I brought in something that may have been part of an advent calendar that's no longer part of an advent calendar that I've used the snot out of and really like. And that's all I'm going to say. So it'll be in an upcoming tool haul. Again, I've got videos just stacked. We're way up in the 40s in tool hauls. I've got like 3 or 4 here that I need to record, and I just haven't had time to because I've been working on the truck. I get home from work really late, and then I just go sand, you know, or whatever, waiting on parts. You know the drill. But there is something kind of cool, and you'll eventually be seeing it in a tool haul. So with that said, I do hope you enjoyed. Let me know, what do you think of this? Are you going to pick it up? Will you be getting it for yourself? Will you be giving it for a gift? Will you be buying it for yourself and for a gift? Let me know your thoughts. How does it stack up, you know, tool-wise with other advent calendars you may have seen or brought in? And on that note, somehow the battery hadn't died. I'm going to get inside, transfer the footage, edit it, and then I got to have this thing ready to go by 9 a.m. So it'll be a late night, but I do hope you enjoyed again. Hope everybody has a great Labor Day. It's kind of been a weird year, but hopefully you get to do something fun with your friends or family or your cars or your tools or something at least. And on that note, I don't have to work Monday, so I'm pretty stoked, and should be spending an awful lot of time out here. So once more, if you want to see the tools in use, check out the Ram Revival. Eventually we'll have some more in-depth stuff on Saturdays, but right now it's just the videos are stacked so deep. You know, it's one of those things I could just like overflow videos and go to town, or I can just kind of space them out and you know, have a little bit of time. So With that said, let me know your thoughts on this, including the video format, because I will totally change that moving forward. This was, again, the first time, so, you know, sorry. I was honestly excited and enjoyed it. And shout out to Wera, because the artwork on that, I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know if I'm in the minority there or everyone loves it, but I honestly thought it was a neat deal. So I had a great time, is what I'm saying. I hope you enjoyed it a little bit. And on that front, I will finally quit rambling. Thanks so much for watching Lone Star Mopars. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also check out the website. If you have not subscribed, I encourage you to do so. You can also ring the bell, jump your charger across the creek, take your bottle opener, pop some caps, and just maybe YouTube will notify you when a new video goes live. They probably won't, but again, Saturdays and Wednesdays, 9 a.m. Texas time, Central Standard Time. With that said, have a great weekend. I will catch y'all back here in the next one.